Now we go to the fourth qualification. So Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat Sampatti, and now comes Mumukshutva, that burning desire for liberation. That is what we are seeing now. Let us see verse number 27. Ahankaradidehantan bandhanajnanakalpitan swaswarupavabodhena moktumichha mumukshuta. Now again here mumukshuta, mumukshutva, same only. One is feminine word, one is neuter word. Mumukshutvam is neuter gender, mumukshuta is feminine, strilinga. The word is feminine. Means same. What do you mean by mumukshuta? Desiderative. We have been seeing this desiderative. What is the meaning? He is telling muktumichha mumukshuta. Very simple definition. Muktumichha, the desire to get liberated, is called as mumukshuta or is called as mumukshutva. Right? This is the meaning. Now, muktumichha mumukshuta, is that sufficient? No, no. Some other things are there. What? Liberation from what? By what? That is answered in the rest of the verse. Let us see. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan muktumichha mumukshuta. Like that you have to connect. Bandhan, a bondage. From the bondage. From the bondage. What is the bondage? Ahankaradi dehantan. The bondage is the feeling of I that I have starting from ahankara. Ahankara adi. Adi means beginning. Beginning from ahankara. Ahankara means ego. I. This I-ness is ego. Ahankara, the starting from that, dehantan, up to the body. Means what? I have a feeling that this is me. Hey, I came, why didn't you look at me? See, looked at what? Body. So I feel that body is me. My senses are me. My mind is me. My intellect is me. My ego is me. All these which are actually my instruments, I have a feeling that they are me. This is bondage. Bandha. Anatmani atma buddhi jagati satya buddhi bandha. In Vedanta, how do we define bandha? Anatmani atma buddhi. That which is not me, I have a feeling that it is me. And jagati satya buddhi. And in the world, I have a feeling that it is real. This is called as bandha. Here what is said? Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan. Liberation from the bondage of I-ness that I have in all these instruments, starting from ego up to the body. How are they? Ajnana kalpitan. They are imagined by ignorance. Means what? They are not real. See, technically speaking, our body changes every moment. Isn't it? They say in 7 years, most of our cells have changed. Except some brain cells, most of our cells have changed. Which means what? 7 years, what I was calling as me. And today there is not even one cell in the body which is same. Some brain cells may be same, but body is now completely different. But still, I have feeling of I. A childhood picture you stand, you see this is me. How can this be you? A small baby, so innocent, and look at you, crooked fellow, now grown up. How can this be you? But we have funny feeling that this is me. This is called as bandha. Ajnana kalpitam, this is imagined by ignorance. And therefore, to get rid of this bondage, to get rid of this feeling of I in the not self, is what is called as desire, is called as mumukshuta. So see, ahankaradi dehantan, ajnana kalpitan, bandhan moktum ichha mumukshuta. But how do I want to get liberated? How I want to give up this bondage? Swaswarupa avabodhena. The means are also given. Avabodha means knowledge. Avabodhena, by the knowledge of Swaswarupa, of one's own real nature. Who am I actually? If I understand that, then I will clearly get rid of the notion who I am not. I feel that I am this body is a wrong notion because of ignorance. I'll get rid of it when I understand who I am actually. So, there is a desire to get liberated. And the person also understands what is liberation. The liberation is feeling that I am this body, this BMI, the body, mind, intellect is me. This is what is bondage. So, a person wants to get rid of this bondage by knowledge. Such a person is called a mumukshu. See, all the people want to be happy. They are all not called as mumukshu. One who understands that the problem lies within, and the main problem is the ignorance of one's own self, and therefore wants to gain knowledge about oneself. One who becomes thus spiritual. Spiritual means what? One who understands that the problem is within and the solution is also within, and therefore stops looking for the solutions outside. That person is called as mumukshu. Careful, everybody wants to get rid of bondage. Everyone is not called as mumukshu. One who understands that the bondage is this ignorance of mine, and therefore way to get rid of this bondage is knowledge of one's own self. And with that knowledge, one who desires to gain liberation is called as mumukshu. Okay, see again, ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena moktumicha. Desire to liberate oneself, mumukshuta. That is what is called as mumukshuta or mumukshutva. Okay, that is the point. Now you see, earlier also Shankaracharya had used this word in the third verse itself. He said, Durlabham trayamevaitat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshaya. The second quality which is said are very rare and achieved only by the grace of the Lord. Second of that, the three rare things, the second of that is mumukshutva. The desire to gain liberation. Having been born as human being, that desire that I want to get liberated and therefore I want to put efforts to improve myself and to understand my own nature, this desire is very rare. See, only this desire can actually, push us on our journey, isn't it? Actually, this mumukshutva, don't think that because it comes last, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti and mumukshutva, it is the least important. No, it is the most important. That's why it comes at the end. We say no, last and best. Why? Because that is actually the fuel for my vehicle on the spiritual path. Stronger the desire, faster I will go. Many times when we ask this question that, Veji, we know spiritual life is important, but sadhana is not happening. One day it happens, one day it does not happen. Why? Because we don't understand the urgency. Gurudev would explain it as, suppose your hair has caught fire. How desperately you want water. That desperation should be there for liberation. Then you will get liberated. At that time, suppose somebody says that, I have sent you WhatsApp message, please check. He said, no, now water. No WhatsApp, no TV, no nothing else. No food, nothing else. Only water I want. Why? Because your hair is on fire. Do you feel that urgency for liberation? If you feel, then you will get liberated very soon. Stronger the desire, faster will be our progress. That is as simple as that. Then we won't waste time in doing anything else. We think that we still have time. That's why we waste. Isn't it? But when we understand that there is no time, then we become focused. Then we become full, put our heart and efforts only for that. Then liberation becomes possible. So this is called as mumukshutva, not postponing. You can't postpone now. That's why Gurudev will not just, if you read Gurudev's commentary, etc., he will not call it mumukshutva as desire for liberation. He will say burning desire for liberation. Burning desire means which doesn't allow me to sit till I get the result. Siddhartha, no, Gautam Buddha had that kind of desire. Shariram va patayami, karyam va sadhayami. Either I will achieve what I have started or I will give up the body. There is no third option. Means what? I will attain it. Full stop. Nothing else. That is called as mumukshutva. Now, actually speaking, the 4 qualities are explained. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti and Mumukshutva. All 4 qualities are explained. So, first he takes what is the not self. So, what is not self? What do you mean by this anatma? Na atma, anatma. Atma means me, self. Na atma. What is not me? Right? So, this is the section that we are entering. We are into verse number 72. Shankaracharya is explaining us what is the gross body. 72. Please repeat. Majjasthimedaf palarakta charma tvagavayirdhatubhirebhiranvitam padoruvaksho bhujaprishthamastakai angairupangairupaयुक्तमेतत्. He says etat. Etat, this. This means this, what you are seeing. This is what we call as body. This I am going to speak about. What is this? See the last word of the first line. Anvitam. Can you see that anvitam? Now here lots of sandhis are there, okay? Let me just do the sandhi first. Majja, asthi, medah, pala, rakta, charma, tvak, avhayaihi. This is one word. This is one compound word. Majjasthimedaf palarakta charma tvagavhayaihi. One word. Then dhatubhihi ebhihi anvitam. Then pada uru vakshah bhuja prishtha mastakaihi. Again one word. Padoru vaksho bhuja prishtha mastakaihi. Angaihi upangaihi upayuktam etat. Etat, this gross body, anvitam. First we will see the meaning of the first line. Anvitam. Anvitam means is endowed with. Is endowed with what? Ebhihi dhatubhihi. By, this third case, therefore by. Ebhihi, by these. Ebhi is a pronoun. By these. By these what? Dhatubhihi, by these dhatus. Dhatu here means what? The basic ingredients, layers, basic components. That's what we call as dhatu. In grammar also dhatu means the root, basic component. So what are the basic components the body, the gross body is endowed with? So 7 such components are there. Sometimes they are called as sapta dhatu. Might have heard this word, sapta dhatu. What are they? He says majja. This is actually cross section of the gross body. You understand cross section of the gross body? You are lucky. I never understood what is cross section of the gross body because biology was difficult for me. But then when I went to engineering, then cross section I understood. Then I understood, oh, that's what they were talking in biology. So you suppose your hand is cut. Suppose, not actually, suppose it is cut. Then what you see from inner component to outer component, one by one, that is called as cross section. So starting from inside, the most inside is what? Majja. Majja means bone marrow. The fluid is there, no? Bone marrow. Asthi, next one. After that component, next one is asthi. Asthi means bone. Bone. Asthi. Medah. Medah means fat. Fat. Pala. Pala means flesh. Flesh. Rakta. Rakta, everybody knows. Blood. Rakta is blood. Charma. Charma is inner skin. Inner skin. What they call as dermis. Dermis and epidermis will be there. No? The dermis, the inner skin. Charma. And then twaka. Twaka is epidermis, the outer skin. So what we touch actually is twaka, the outer skin. Inside that there is the inner skin, charma. Inside that blood, rakta. Inside that flesh, pala. Inside that fat, meda. Inside that bone, asthi. Inside that bone marrow, majja. Okay. Abhi dhatubhi, by these components, etat what is that? Anvitam. Etat, this anvitam is endowed with. Excuse me? Yes. Why is Shankaracharya explaining biology? For us to understand that I am none of these. Later on it will come also. We have attraction towards somebody else. What exactly are we attracted towards? Majja, asthi, meda, pala, rakta, charma, tvak. What? Which one you want? Each and everything of this, in Gurudev's words, if we have to say, is a filthy item wrapped in a beautiful packaging. He used to say, God is great marketing person. Why? All the filthy items are put but wrapped in such a beautiful body that nobody understands what the filth we are carrying. And isn't it true? I really salute those doctors and surgeons, etc. You know, when they cut, what all things are there inside? My God, can't even see. But remember, we are so attached to it. We don't want to give it up. So much attached. What is this? Nothing but saptadhatu. The body is made up of these 7 ingredients, the 7 components, the saptadhatus. And then this body has got different parts. This cross section is okay. Cross section I understood. Now it is made up of different parts. That is what is explained in the next line. He says, Etat upayuktam. This is having. Upayuktam, having. Having what? Angaihi. Different limbs. Upangaihi. Different sub-limbs. So hand is a limb. But within hand there is a palm. Within palm there are fingers. Within fingers there are nails also. So anga and upanga. The parts and sub-parts. Limbs and sub-limbs are also there. What are they? Some Shankaracharya is mentioning for you to understand what are they. He is not going to count and tell everything. No. Saptadhatu, because there was only 7 things he explained. Now parts are so many. So he is just explaining few. He is saying pada. Pada means feet. Uru. Uru means thighs. Vakshas. Vakshaha means chest. Bhuja. Bhuja means arms. Prishtha. Back. Mastaka. Head. Head. Mastaka. So, padoru vaksho bhuja prishta mastakaihi angaihi upangaihi etat upayuktam. So this body that we see is made up of 7 dhatus and has got these many parts. Please understand that this is a very different kind of explanation of gross body. Generally in Vedanta we won't see things like this. I am sure many of you have studied Tattvabodha, Atmabodha, etc. is nothing like this. Tattvabodha will say, what is Sthula Shariram Kim? Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhute Kritam Sat Karmajanyam Sukha Dukkhadi Bhogayatanam Shariram Jayate Asti Vartate Viparinamate Apakshiyate Vinashyati Shadvikarvat Etat Sthula Shariram, made up of 5 elements fashioned by your prarabdha karma. It is the house of experience for all your enjoyments and sufferings. Then what? It has got 6 modifications. It is born, then it stays, then it grows, then it matures, then it decays, then it dies. This is what is gross body. Whereas here Shankaracharya ji is explaining in a different way. Why? Because the purpose is different. Tattvabodha is a book of definitions. He has to just tell what is gross body. Here the purpose is for us to get a feeling that I am not this and therefore I should not identify with it. That is why he is explaining in a different way. He is telling what it has. All the filthy things only are there inside. See, the skin is the only thing which is protecting us. You open the skin and everything inside starts to smell. I don't know how we carry this thing around. But this is what it is. He continues. Let us see. Verse number 73. Aham mameti prathitam shariram mohaspadam sthulamitiriyate budhai nabho nabhaswaddahanam bubhumayah sukshmani bhutani bhavanti tani. He says, Aham mama iti prathitam shariram. Now he is bringing the word sharira. So far he has not used the word sharira. Shariram. Shariram means body. Shiryamanatvat shariram. In Sanskrit, if a name is given to an object, there has to be a reason why that name is given to that object. In English, such rule is not there. Example, why sky is called as sky? We don't know. But in Sanskrit we have a reason. Why Akasha is called as Akasha? Because it gives Avakasha. Avakasha Pradatra Akasha. Why is eyes are called as Nayana in Sanskrit? Because they lead. Comes from root Ninaya. Lead. Similarly, why this body is called as Sharira? Sharira Shiryamanatvat. That which decays. We may say that the body is growing, but actually it is decaying. Right from birth it is decaying. It may look like it goes through different phases, but it is going towards decay only. Shiryamanatvat shariram. So this sharira is very unique thing. Why? Because aham mama iti prathitam. Because with this body, I have both experiences. What both experiences? I feel I am this body and I also feel this is my body. So, aham, I, and mama, my. See, generally, these two experiences cannot be in the same object. What is this? This is a handkerchief. This is my handkerchief. The moment I say this is mine, it is very clear that it is different from me. There is no confusion. Think about it. My house, different from me. My wife, different from me. My car, different from me. But this body is something which I say it is my, but I also say it is I. This is my hand. We say, my head is paining. My stomach is paining. But at the same time, I also have a feeling of I in this body. Hey, you didn't go for that program. I went. Who went? The gross body went. My gross body went, but I feel I went. What happened to you? I am not well. Who is not well? The gross body is not well. My head is paining. But what do you say? I am not well. See? So, aham mama iti pratitam. This is a very unique thing which has both experiences. I also and my also in the same object. Why are there two different kinds of experiences in the same thing? Mohaspadam. Because of it is a seat of delusion. Aspadam, seat. Moha, delusion. Why? All the delusion begins from here. Mohaspadam. Sthulam iti budhaihi iryate. Iryate, it is spoken of, it is called. Budhaihi, by the wise people, this body that we see is called as sthulam. Sthula, gross. What do you mean by gross? Not in the different way, it is very gross, you are gross. Nowadays in English, etc., they use this term. Gross means you are very yuck. This gross. True, only this gross body is really like that, but that is not what we mean. Sthula means what? That which can be perceived by senses. That is called as sthula. It's a technical term. What do you mean by gross body, gross object? Anything that can be perceived by sense organs. Any of the sense organs. Eyes, nose, tongue, skin, ears, any of these. If it can be perceived, it is gross. So, this body that we can perceive is called as gross body, sthula sharira, by the wise people. And what is this? This gross body is mohaspadam, seat of delusion. What kind of delusion? That you also have feeling of my and you also have feeling of I in the same body. Right? Okay. So far what all things we have seen? That the gross body is made up of saptadhatus. It has got various parts. It is seat of delusion because of which I have experiences of I and my both in the same body. And it is called gross. Why? Because it can be perceived by sense organs. I can see my hand, smell it, touch it, hear, the beats, the heartbeats, etc. I can experience this gross body through the sense organs. Therefore, it is called as sthula. Now, Shankaracharya begins explaining from what is this gross body made. What is the material with which it is made? See, saptadhatu is saptadhatu, okay, basic. But what are the saptadhatus made up of? What are ingredients, if I have to say? So, that is what he says now. What are those ingredients? Bhutani. Bhutani, elements. Pancha Mahabhutas are the elements from which the body is made. How? He explains. Nabho. Nabho is nabhas. Nabhas means space. Nabhaswat. Please understand the sandhi there. Nabho. Nabhaswat. Nabhaswat means wind or air. Nabhas means space. Nabhas becomes nabho. Sakara changes to repha changes to visarga changes to ukara, it becomes nabho because of different sandhi rules. So, nabho means nabhas means space. Nabhaswat means air. Then dahana means fire. Ambu means water. And bhumi means earth. So, space, air, fire, water, earth. Because 5, therefore plural is used. Bhumayaha. Bhumihi, bhumi, bhumayaha. So, because it is a compound word, therefore plural is used. These 5 sukshmani bhutani. These are bhutani, these are elements, but sukshmani, subtle. In their subtle form, these 5 elements are called as tanmatras. Tanmatra. Tanmatra means tat matram. That alone is there. The 5 elements in their pure form, which are not mixed with anything else. In their subtle form, tani, from them, bhutani bhavanti. From these subtle 5 elements, gross 5 elements are born. Careful. What are the 5 elements? Space, air, fire, water, earth. These 5 elements in their subtle form are pure. Are pure means what? They are not mixed with anything else. So, subtle space is space alone, tanmatra. Subtle air is air alone. Subtle fire is fire alone. Subtle water is water alone. Subtle earth is earth alone. And remember, they are subtle. Subtle means not perceived by the senses. Right? Now, from these 5 subtle elements, 5 gross elements come. They are formed. From 5 subtle elements, 5 gross elements are born, are formed. And those 5 gross elements, by different permutation and combination, become the gross body and the entire gross world that we see. So, tanmatras, 5 subtle elements, become panchabhutas, the 5 gross elements. And from those 5 gross elements, the gross body and the gross world is made up of. Now, how 5 subtle elements become 5 gross elements? That process is called as panchikarana. Well known in Vedanta. Many of you already know it. Panchikarana. That panchikarana process, Shankaracharya is now explaining in the next verse. So, the 5 great elements in their subtle form, tanmatras, go through the process called panchikarana, by which they become gross. They become gross means they can be now perceived by senses, and they, through different permutation and combination, become the gross body and the gross world. So, everything that we see, careful, every single thing that we see, hear, touch, smell and taste, every single thing is made up of 5 gross elements. And those 5 gross elements are formed from 5 subtle elements. How? That is explained now in the next verse.